Okay. All right. Great. Wonderful. Excellent. Perfect. Ah,
Hooray!
never a problem. B3 Gaming Cast, episode 65. Never a problem. This is your host, as always, Janzer. And we have Graham and Phil. And we're going to do things a little bit
That's me.
different
Well,
today.
not the grand part,
Yep.
but I am the Phil
Graham.
part.
Do things
Yeah,
a
he's Graham.
little different today. And Phil's going to go first. And give you what news he's got.
I got all the news.
There you go.
Well, just some.
Perfect.
But
Amazing.
yes. So, this little thing about threatening people. You shouldn't do it. Well, people do it.
Yeah. Well, I thought
So
that was
apparently-
normal on the internet.
Are you threatening my ability to threaten you? I will kill you.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
You wouldn't selling them a bag of dicks? Candy dicks?
I don't know if that's a threat, though. I mean, to me, that's more like, here are some edible treats, but they're dicks. I mean, I don't know.
Sounds like a
It's not
threat to
really.
me.
It just sounds stupid
Mm-hmm.
and a waste of money. But yeah, so streamer Dr. Disrespect. Have any of y'all ever actually seen any of his streams or seen him?
You see, you actually gave him the respect of giving the name. My title for this was Some Idiot Team Killed in PUBG and Got Banned for a Minute.
Well, you see, no, because I have to give him his full name because his name is just stupid. It's Dr. Disrespect. He's disrespectful.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've seen, like, I have people that put up those Twitch fail stuff, and I've seen him in there. I didn't know who the fuck he was. I thought he was just some idiot that, somebody said, look at this idiot. Look what he did in the game, and
Right.
he failed. But apparently he's a popular streamer. I don't like his content because it doesn't appeal to me. Not saying that it's bad,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't appeal to me. But his whole thing is that he gets into a character. He puts on this wig with a mullet and shades and a mustache, all this fake stuff.
Okay.
And
All right.
it's just very disrespectful to people and whatever, and loud and obnoxious.
He does the Andy Kaufman. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is that I don't find him funny.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're an old man. That's why.
Yeah, but no, all right. There's
And I know that because the things that I don't find
I'm
funny,
old.
you don't find funny either. And I know I'm an old man in my head. Therefore, you're an old man. Why aren't you like the cool hip kids? Come on, Dr. Disrespect.
I find you being very disrespectful right now.
I find you being
I
too
think-
respectful to Dr. Disrespect.
I think you guys should
I find-
definitely threaten each other.
Oh no, I don't. No, I don't.
I
threaten.
I think that all the gray hair in my beard resembles your remarks. Anyway,
All right.
so yeah, basically, all right. Yeah, that's his character. That's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Now, earlier in that very same day that this incident happened on Twitter, Brandon Green,
Mm-hmm.
the creator of PUBG, Player Unknown Battleground,
Yeah.
posted a tweet saying, "Hey, look, don't team kill. That shit will get you banned."
Oh, okay. All right.
Or
So-
basically, he said, if you break the rules in Battlegrounds, no matter who you are, you're gonna have a bad time! Exclamation mark. That's what he said. So
Okay.
basically, letting people know you get banned, but it's like just a soft ban, kind of like it's banned for a few days. I don't know if you keep repeating it if you get a permanent ban, but basically, right now you just get a ban for a few days.
Right.
So Dr. Disrespect and I think two other streamers decided to play the game, but one of them, whoever was the leader of the team, had it set to public.
Mm-hmm.
So a random joined the team. So the first thing he said is, "This random better not get in our way,"
Mm-hmm.
or this pub better not get in our way. So everybody was like, okay, whoa, we know what's gonna happen here.
Mm-hmm.
So they go on playing, doing the stuff, and they get I don't know the name of those motorbikes, but you can only fit three people in them.
I don't know.
But basically, the bike in the game, you can only hold 3 people, you know, 1 in the side carriage or 2 in the side carriage and 1 on the side and 1 in the back, something like that. So everybody hops on, but not disrespect. And he's like, you know, he basically says, you know, this can't work. So a bunch of them pop back off. He points the gun at the random person, guns him down. And they say, yep. And this basically says that this is pop. And I'm like, I'm just like, how the fuck is that getting in your way? You know, if he was doing something stupid like drawing attention and bringing players back to their location, I can understand him being annoyed. Even though in doing that, you don't just outright go and kill the person. You know, you try to communicate and say, hey, look, dude, stop fucking up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And worst case scenario, just quit the game. Just start a new game, you know? It's that simple. But anyway, so he kills that guy. And then they're going on more in the stream, and then all of a sudden he says, wait, it looks like I'm getting banned. And he gets, you know, banned, not locked up the game. So he has some back and he goes online and talks about how he got banned. So Brendan Green responds to him. He let him know, hey, look, you know, you can't team kill people in the game. You're going to get banned no matter who you are. So being the person that he is, staying in the same stupid character that he is,
right?
He responds with, if I could do splits, I'd roundhouse kick you in the neck. But since I can't, I'll just front kick you in the chest instead. Lightning.
Yeah, I read about that.
So
I'm not sure if I even can process that.
Yeah, again, maybe we getting a little bit too old for this shit. But anyway, that was his response to him saying that.
I mean, it didn't surprise me at all. Like, I read all that and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. But go ahead. Yeah.
So Brendan Green, they had a little bit back and forth before that. That was kind of jokey. But then when he said that, Brendan Green,
uh-oh.
Yeah.
You're breaking up there, buddy. Phil, you're dying. Yeah, you're dying, man. The Geth have intercepted you again. Oh, wait, you too, Graham. Maybe it's me.
No, I heard it for both of you for a second there.
Maybe it's Discord.
Is it? Yeah, I think it was Discord. Are we good now?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you good now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm good. I hear everybody again.
Okay, man. What is today? What's going on?
I don't know. Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
So you were saying
So
back and forth and stuff.
Yeah. So basically, he lets him know, you know, you can, you know, be issuing threats on the internet. So people obviously, you know, the internet jumps in and say, oh man, that's just how he is. That's his character, whatever. So then, Brandon Green had to put a post with, I guess, a link to something with a long discussion, basically showing that back when he was at college, he had a roommate that was obviously some kind of an asshole that actually kicked him in the head and kicked him into a window and broke the window.
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't cause any serious damage, but I mean, that's some fucked up shit right there. So he was just basically telling him, look.
Oh shit! You're breaking up again.
It happened to both of you, and I assume me for a second there too.
You weren't
talking, but I heard you were fine.
Okay.
But Twitch also keeps showing that we're going offline. But I'm looking at OBS and it's fine, and I've got Twitch Inspector up, and that says we're fine too.
Yeah, my thing, it still says that you're live, and it hasn't changed the host or the uptime.
Okay.
All right. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. If this keeps up with it for like 30 minutes, we'll just stop it, and we'll either have to do it another time or something.
Okay.
Because if the audio's not coming through right, what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right. So, basically what we're saying is that Brendan Green had to go back online and let people know, hey, look, threat of violence is not something that you should do even as a joke. You know, you had somebody that brought back memories of something that actually happened to him, and it felt very uncomfortable. So I mean, you gotta be, not only do you have to be careful with how you say things to people, but I mean, just threatening somebody just out of fun is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I call people shithead, idiot, well, certain people I'm very close to or interact with, I can say something about them as an insult, as long as it's something that we know amongst each others, and that's the fun that we will do, but we don't go outside of that and do anything
right,
like maybe racist that this person probably doesn't like. You set the boundaries and you know them.
Yeah,
but
I refer to that as building up to a level of disrespect.
Yeah, exactly. But you never get to the point where you threaten somebody's life, or even in a joke. Like, that's not something that, again, it's probably because I'm older, that's not something that you do.
Yeah.
So this whole thing just kind of got blown out of proportion.
But I mean, he just threatened it.
By internet
He just said he was going to kick him he didn't say he was going to kill him, right?
Well, he did say that he would kick him in the neck.
Yeah.
I
thought you said chest. I'm sorry.
No, he said if he could do the splits, he would roundhouse kick him in the neck. But if he can't,
you got to be fair. That phrase is just ludicrously stupid, and it's coming from that character. He's doing this so people go watch his fucking stream. Like, this is a great play by that guy, because the internet doesn't give a shit. They're going to be like, oh, what's this? Yeah. Either they're going to be like, what's this idiot? Or, he sounds funny,
I agree. But, at the same time, you got to be cautious of, especially if that's the other thing. If you're playing a game, and you're talking with the developer of the game, and you're part of your income of your life, I don't know if he does other work, probably does, but part of your income of your life is to play games that, developers create. Don't be an asshole to the developers.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not condoning it. No, I'm just saying it's not a real threat. It's a marketing decision by that guy, or whatever, to make a splash and get put. He got his wish, like.
Oh yeah.
This is totally in character for him. He's got it known. People know about him now. That's why I didn't play into that, and all I said was some idiot team killed in PUBG and got banned for a minute and cried about it. Also known as a story for attention. Another new, and then we could talk about, like, if anything, we could just say, like, that stuff's not, see, this is, we're offline again, whatever. But that's not, that's not something that, I'm glad that the developer was like, look, I'm going to take this seriously, because people do need to actually still say, hey, look, fun and games or whatever, but that's not cool. All right. And you're right, Phil. Like, he doesn't know that guy. And this reminds me of when people drop into a Twitch chat and they start just saying, like, shit. Like, it happened the other day. Somebody dropped into a chat stream that I was watching, was something like, "Are you gonna play the game, or shut up and just play the game," or whatever. That guy could have been kidding. He could have been joking, but it's hard to tell. We don't know. We never heard the guy before, And even if we do know the person, it's kind of like, that's a little rude, regardless,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but not only that, I just find the whole thing started off bad.
Oh yeah,
because you have a random person in your team. Suppose that person was like probably big fans of all 3D streamers, and he was like, "Oh man, I actually got into the game with them. This is fun, I'm gonna play it." And then the guy shoots him. He's like, "Fuck,"
well,
That,
there's a popular YouTuber that put out a video, Video Game Donkey. I love the guy. He's fucking hilarious. But in that video, they're team killing each other. And it's a popular video on YouTube. It just dropped the other day. And they're running each other. They're shooting each other. They're running, it's funny, but they're still doing it.
But was that the set intention from the start? Because I know some people say, hey, look, what?
Because they're cuts. Also, it's just, here's the thing. Either they're saying that team killing's not acceptable, or it's acceptable. One of the two. Which one?
Mm-hmm.
So, other people have done it too. It's just somebody either got a bug up their ass, or the fact is, and told that guy, because how would he have known? It's probably the guy that got team killed that reported him.
Oh yeah, most definitely, probably. I'm sure they have something in there that's set up to do that. Because again, same Brendan Green said earlier that if you do it, you're gonna get banned. So obviously people complained. He probably put a functionality into the game to report people. They obviously can go back and probably look at, incidents that happen, logs, see that you were killed by this teammate. It probably wasn't under fire. It wasn't a mistake that they shot the person as they ran across in front of them. So it's kind of like, all right, well, yeah, this person is obviously doing stupidness and they banned them.
Yeah.
So, and he got banned during the same exact stream that it was happening too. So obviously that person had to have reported him right away.
But it was only for like a week or something like that.
No, it was only 3 days.
3 days. Even so, this is all in his favor. Like, this is like, absolutely all in his favor.
He gets all of this publicity and notoriety and all this stuff, and he still gets to play the game 3 days.
And the developer still gets to look like a good guy,
Yeah, true that too.
Everybody wins. Except for the guy that got team killed.
Yeah, and me. Because this lowers my faith in internet people.
Well, this is why I don't like those and PUBG is one of those games that I really just don't like, because it's the type of game where the environment is open to that kind of thing. Look, I've lived in really bad neighborhoods. I knew where I should and should not walk. Whatever people say about like, whoa, the law protect, fuck off. Go to a bad neighborhood at night and you walk wherever you think you want to walk, and good luck with that. After the fact doesn't change what you could have done before the fact. And so for me, if I know I don't like that kind of, I don't like PUBG because I know it fosters that kind of behavior, that's just how it is. The Division was like that too with the Dark Zone, where you looked at Twitch streams and all they were was like killing noobs or like killing just they were looking to get people salty, that kind of stuff. They were looking to ruin someone's day. And that kind of behavior, I just don't condone. And so I don't participate in it, And that's why I won't play PUBG.
Yeah, well, that's my main reason for not playing it. But the other reasons, like, internet connectivity and because even people that have good internet connections, they do get little bits of stuttering and rubber banding.
Yeah,
on some servers. I mean, again, the game is still in beta, so that kind of stuff will happen. But I mean, if that's gonna happen to people that have good connections, then imagine my connection. That's not great. It's definitely not the worst, but it's definitely not good at all for that kind of games. And then also the servers having their little bit of issue. I would suck completely at that game.
Yeah.
So but he got more people behind him. The game developer got people to understand that you shouldn't just go around doing that stuff, but people will still go around and do that stuff because human beings, and we destined to repeat our levels of stupidity until we die.
And anybody who wants to troll and wants to continue validating trolldom will just be like, "Oh, he's just a pussy."
Exactly.
Just keep doing
this is normal. This is normal behavior that we do. Grow
if you can't handle it, then you suck.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And I don't know the rest of the rules of the game, but
any sort of real life trauma is irrelevant. You should just get good at not being bad at feelings.
There are some things there where that guy was like, "Look, this happened to me a long time ago, so it's really traumatic." That's a bit dramatic. I'm not usually on the side of I'm not on the side of the troll, but I'm going to say that's a bit. I've had things happen to me.
I'm sure he was using hyperbole to make his point. But
right.
Yes.
Which is the internet. He's playing the game. He's playing the game, and he's player unknown, right? So he knows the game too, literally, like the internet.
Ginger
game.
was referring to.
But the other thing that really pissed me off though is that people were saying, "Well, you got people playing a violent video game. You don't expect them to say violent things too." I was like, "What?" Like there were people on the internet with tweets saying that. I was like, "It's a first. Playing a violent video game is not the same as picking up a gun and shooting somebody. Shooting somebody in a game and shooting a gun is a completely different thing." I know people that have actually done both and just said, "I don't like shooting. I don't like shooting. I play video games with shooting. I love them, but to actually pick up a gun and shoot, they don't like doing it."
Yeah.
Being Penn and Teller, when people had, always have those arguments saying that video games cause violence. And they actually took a little boy that played like constantly Call of Duty They took him
I remember that.
on their serious bullshit, and they took him out to a shooting range. He fired a gun. It was loud. It was jarring, and he just started to cry.
Yeah.
He said he never want to do it again. But then he would go back and play his games.
Right.
So it's like, when I think, I mean, I don't know. I just find gamers and internet people, either they just love to be trolling, or they're just stupid, or a bit of both.
I'm gonna disassociate the gamers and internet people from the ones that are stupid, and they exist regardless everywhere. And I know that I often lump them in with, and I just say gamers because I'm just, I'm being hyperbolic at that time as well. But that is just stupid people, regardless, that want to try to, they don't even want to rationalize it so they can justify it. They're just doing it because that's the type of behavior that they're used to doing. People that want to kind of like cause friction, they like to push people's buttons. I know one that, I don't know, there was this one guy that would show up on my channel, and I would go hang out in other channels, and he'd be there too, and he would just be that exact way, and he would say shit about me, and I'd be like, what do you think that we're like friends or something? Like, because you're being a little too like disrespectful. I don't really know you. Like, maybe it's funny to you, but it's not to me, because I don't really know you, so back the fuck off, So, that kind of thing. But it's hard on the internet to do that, because it's hard for me because I'm a very physical person, and I only learned some of the way of words within my last job pretty well. But that was also in person, so I could gauge body behavior. I could show through my own body posturing as well, communication, you can't do that on the internet. So there's nothing, it's like your words are not going. I was just talking to somebody before the podcast where they were telling this other guy like, oh, AMD's great. Look at this one chip. And I'm like, yeah, but look at the history of Intel. Like AMD, anytime it's gotten a lead on something, it always flubs it. Like they might have one chip that's good, but then Intel will come around and whop them, and that's the end of that. The other thing is Intel's got the inroads with like all the support, like with different manufacturers. At the end of the day, NVIDIA is Intel, like the support is like hand in hand. NVIDIA and AMD, you always get problems going on there, It's always with drivers and support. You don't look at the moment and say, wow, that one thing is amazing at that moment. And then later on, you're like, oh my God, why does my stomach ache? Well, because at that time, that lasagna that was like fucking 10 pounds looked amazing. But in reality, when you actually eat it all, it's bad for you. So, you can't just look at you got to look at the overall. And I was like, you got to look at the history of the companies and how that. And this guy was like, yeah, but you can't stay in the past. I'm like, I didn't say stay in the past. That's the perspective you want to take on the words that I said. I said, use that information to give you an overall picture of what you should decide. I was like, me and you both have our preferences, but I'm not going to. Basically, I tried to be diplomatic twice, saying different things like, oh, I've got a buddy that goes AMD and I've had Intel, and we both have had good experiences in of ourselves. That to me is like a diplomatic closer. But the person just kept going on. It basically, at the end of the day, you can't change people's minds on the internet. It's really hard to.
Yeah.
It's really hard to. They're not looking to have their mind changed. They're looking to tell you what you should believe, and you're doing the same. So, we're all doing the same thing. It's like, these are my thoughts, and this is what I believe, and I think you should believe them too. And if you don't, oh well. See, but I will stop. I'm like, I will get to that point of like, I don't give a fuck, because I don't actually give a fuck. I just want that person to stop chattering at me about what they think is the right thing. I'm like, I don't care. I already gave up already, dude. I don't care. If you want to call it giving up, great. But in my mind, this is going nowhere. So we both stated our points. Good enough. See you later. Have a good life. But yeah. So yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, well, that was that.
Yeah.
I'm sure the internet's going to forget about that until somebody else does something stupid. Then they're like, hey, you remember that time? So, yeah.
Well, yeah.
We can always...
No, on the heels of that, PUBG apparently surpassed GTA 5 in concurrent users on Steam. So, I mean, anything that keeps it up at the top, this including this, There you go. You know, I mean, it's doing well, and it's going to continue to do well until it becomes like yesterday's news. But it has to do well for at least a year, I would say. You know, if it does well for 6 months and drops off, it's going to drop off. That's it. But if it does good for a year, it probably will hang out for a while, like Overwatch. You know,
I have a strong. If people are within that same mindset that they've been in since DayZ, because everybody's been all about DayZ and Armor and that stuff, like how these battle royale type, games, those game modes came into play, pretty much just like how Dota and MOBAs came into to be a thing, a game genre. I see battle royale, it has already become its own genre.
Oh yeah,
and I only way I can see is like if PUBG doesn't continue to make content that people gravitate towards,
gimmicks.
But they will always be,
they
will always be
constant gimmicks.
Yeah, but they will always be a battle royale game going forward until that genre no longer is a popular genre for people to play. So I can see it lasting. It's not a fling or a 6-month thing.
I'm talking about the game specifically because, like you said, the genre's been around. That's not what I was saying. I'm talking about PUBG.
But I was,
before that, it was like Rust and H1Z1 and you name it. There were a bunch of tiny ones in between.
With the way that not even just tiny ones like H1Z1 was huge because that had so many.
Right, I already named that. I'm just saying, like along with the big ones, there were smaller ones that I would see. And some of them were only console, I think. And I'm like, and you could tell that they just threw them together. But people, it didn't matter what the assets were. It's more that they provided the arena for them to go fuck with each other.
And I think people were hungry for that battle royale stuff. And nobody provided a balanced formula that actually had a future in terms of being a stable game that people will constantly come back to. The whole Overwatch is with their versus kind of game from taking over from like Team Fortress 2, and everyone they have the different little stepping stages. So I
back
think
in the 90s, it was deathmatch
around for a while.
That's what it was. And then we got tired of the constant and mindless killing and respawning, because that's exactly what it is. That's exactly why I don't care about PUBG either. Because it's constant and mindless and boring to me. And so the next thing that came up was the team killing type thing, which was Counter-Strike really took it. They really took it. So that's the next thing that came up, and I guess people kind of just got tired of that. That can get really high level esports wise. So they wanted something that wasn't so mindlessly stupid and boring like deathmatch, but not as high skill required as team esports. Battle royale. It's right in the middle,
Yeah.
Jen, you said something about like gimmicks and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know 100% specifically what you meant by it, but I pictured things like that we see in a lot of games like Overwatch, where they have like themed or temporary stuff that goes on, and
Absolutely.
that way it's always fresh because it's only temporary, so it never becomes old, and it just switches things in and out.
Yep, indeed. I mean, think about it.
Is that what you were referring when you said gimmicky?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
what I pictured.
Well, like, what does ESO do for PvP? Does it do any of that kind of stuff? I know it has seasons or whatever, right? Doesn't have like
yeah, I mean, each campaign has it has a start and end time, so then it resets. So that's what keeps it fresh for winning a campaign. Some are a month long, some are a week long, but it has events like a lot of other things do.
Yeah, I guess it just never gets as gimmicky as that's what these things look like to me. Like vehicles can work in these games, and clearly they probably could have worked before. But to me, I always see that as like a holdout of like, could they add in flying? They probably could. I mean, we were playing like war type games with Battlefield, for example, and all that. Where there were vehicles, flying vehicles, and all that. I'm sure they could add into that. Saying it's a small developer, and all that. But I mean, I imagine it's like any other developer where you can go grab code, grab assets. I'm not saying that that's exactly what's being done at all, but we also know that PUBG is not being developed by one dude the way we thought it was. That it actually has a Korean company behind it that's been doing games for quite a long time. So,
well, anybody that thought that PUBG was created by just that guy was just being naive because.
Well, everybody just references him.
I was naive.
I was naive too, because that's all that was ever referenced. And I figured it was like him and like maybe a small team. I didn't know like a big company was behind it.
Yeah, I don't know how big the company was that was behind him, but I knew that he was the person that was in charge. He was calling the shots. He won because he had been involved in the H1Z1 and DayZ and other stuff.
We talked about this like a couple of times. I thought I'll bring it up again because I guess you didn't go look it up.
No, I know. I remember I was there.
Okay.
I was saying that like anybody thought that he sat down by himself and did it or just did it with a couple of people. Nah, a lot of stuff usually either gets outsourced or you get some sort of funding behind it. And I'm sure the way I saw it was that because he had all the recognition behind all these different things that he worked on and provided the best aspects of that he had
legitimacy.
Yeah, he took that and found people that were willing to back him.
Nah, it's the other way around, man. They found him. And I think the reason why is because of what you said. He was a recognizable face because he had Arma and H1Z1. And they actually found him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, either they found him, but at the end of the day, it was something that he wanted to do himself. But obviously it was like, I don't have the money or nothing to do this. It's beyond my scope. But having somebody approach, hey, it's like, yes, I did want to do this. So, he can call the shots on it, basically. But I don't think, I don't think you can look at any game, even look at just all the stuff that goes into basic stuff in games, like designing weapons and characters and environments. If you think that a group of 4 or 5 people could do that, then you can buy the next No Man's Sky, I hate to tell you. And I don't mean the next game that they come up with that's No Man's Sky. I'm talking about the next game that tries to sell you big on something that it's not, or they can't deliver on. It takes tons of people. Look at Star Citizen. They were back getting people, hiring people. They're doing the usual, business, trying to get the loans and stuff. It takes a lot of time, money, and effort to create even the simplest of games.
Yeah. I just pasted in like basically what ended up happening. Like that guy left Sony apparently, and the company Blue Hole, I guess is what they're called. This was brought to our attention. I didn't even bother ever looking it up.
Emphasize.
They went and found him. They were already working on it, but they knew that they wanted it to be a global game, and they wanted somebody, like I said, kind of like what you were saying, he's recognizable face. He'd worked on something, he was working on whatever stuff for Arma, Arma mods or whatever. So
Arma mods,
people knew about him. So it was like, oh, great, perfect. We'll bring him over here to oversee development. We've already got stuff going, but it's going to be global. He's a recognizable Western face, to present it. So there you go. But it's interesting. That's one topic that we've spent 36 minutes on. Let's move the fuck on.
Talking about PUBG.
Yep.
Unfortunately, more PUBG stuff. But right, Ubisoft wants to emulate PUBG. They've been looking at it.
Oh shit!
CEO and their latest what are those things called when they meet with the investors meeting? Yeah, basically, they said that they've been watching Battlegrounds with interest, and they might do something similar down the line.
Yeah, Ubisoft's been doing well. Like they were apparently Vivendi has been trying to buy them out. Like they're buying more and more shares. I don't have any notes on this. I just read this over a few weeks, and
but they've been able to hold them off for now.
Yeah, that's not what I'm gonna say. So they were buying shares on them, and apparently the company, like the family, that's the main shareholders of Ubisoft, they apparently had another gaming company that Vivendi, which is apparently like a French, media, whatever they do, like movies or something. But they had bought out that company from them. So I think there's some bad, there's some sour, blood there. Something's not right. It's like, So now you're coming after this other
Plus-
one. So they're trying their hardest, clearly, to retain shares of Ubisoft, and even up to the point to where they were breaking up. Like apparently, they were like basically kicking people off the board and having them sign up individually. So it's a different share, but it's still, you know, I guess they could only retain a certain amount, but they still needed to make sure that other shares were not going to be able to be purchased by Vivendi. So they were basically getting people off the board and having them individually buy those shares up, still like in agreement with them. So I was like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, that's a nice way to retain that.
I think
unless they get bought out.
Board members could only, I think board members can only have a certain amount of shares and stuff. So then they probably say, hey, look, they probably said, you know, hey, if you guys leave,
exactly,
you know, from the board, and then you just buy these shares, and you could buy these other shares from these people as well. So
right,
this business
they got some good deal going on, I bet, because they got to make sure they're to retain them, because Vivendi could be like, hey Phil, what about those shares you got? How about this house? No, it's a mansion. You know, oh shit. Yeah. How about your own private concerts? You know, kind of all kinds of shit. Who knows what? But that's what I would be wondering about. I bet it's going to be good to be one of those people right now, or really bad. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, or just like those people, the first people who bought Bitcoin, because apparently Bitcoin's worth way more than when they first came out. So anybody that bought them then, if they had them now and they sell them, they make a shit ton of money. Of course, people who bought them probably like, you know, maybe just a year or a few months ago, they're not gonna really see any profit. So you gotta get from the ground level. Yeah. But anyway, going back to Ubisoft. So basically they've just been looking at that type of gameplay and saying that's what he said. The CEO said, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, Yves Guillemot or Guillemot. I don't speak French, so
yeah, me either.
Sorry for
Guillemot
7%. Yeah, sorry for damaging your name. So yeah, he said looking at that type of game, so they're very interested in that, maybe something that they add to some DLCs in their future games. So I was trying to think of, you know, like what kind of games they might add that stuff to. Like, I don't think it would be Ghost Recon would be a pretty good area to put that in, but I think they already got plans for that since they really revealed some Ghost Recon Wildlands like financial stuff recently, and saying that it is their best selling game of the year, and that they had already DLC plans. So, you know, that kind of stuff is already, you know, when you release a game, you already have DLC plan for it for about a year or 2 years down the line.
Hopefully.
Depending on how much success. Yeah. So it's not impossible that they could probably do it in like a second year, but chances are it'd probably be for a different game. So I was wondering if like maybe like a Assassin's Creed type game, you know, where you got assassins and like and Templars. And
well, Assassin's Creed did have its own multiplayer. In fact, people seem to like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
and then they took it out.
Very popular. Yeah, probably because it was too much work for them with that and the single player game. But I just wondering, you know, like how cool it would be if you had some Templars and assassins, and one group had to defend some people, but these other people had to get those people killed within a set time, and then if they do it, then it triggers some other event, and then, you know, the restrictions come down till it gets to this small area. You just got this flat out brawl between the two groups. Right. You know, I just figured it might be something kind of cool where, you know, somebody's just lurking, next people are just fighting down there, and somebody jumps down and assassinates, and it might be an interesting concept. And knowing how video games are, and life and art imitates, you know, itself and things within it. So I can see them borrowing and pulling that stuff from battle royale type games and putting into that, and maybe making either a battle royale or a new genre of game modes.
I mean, they kind of tried it with the Division survival mode.
Division is what I keep thinking of.
Because everybody started out exactly in the same fashion, randomly placed throughout the map. Granted, it was a certain section of the map. I know it was bigger. It was they were around the map a bit. And you all started at level 0, and you all started with like literally nothing, and you built yourself up based on what you found. So that's pretty much battle royale right there, you know. And you all had one end goal, which was to get to the chopper. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't necessarily last man standing, you know, but it could be. So yeah. So they've already done it.
Honestly, if they were to look at Massive and say, look, you know what? We want you to make that division aspect into Battle Royale, the division, Battle Royale, or,
Well, remember the reception, though, right? People didn't like it. They said it was boring and unfair.
Well, that was the thing, though. I found a lot of that stuff came from people who were playing the division already, but a lot of people actually wanted to play, and some people actually started to play division because of survival, and they preferred the survival, but they didn't like the regular game. So that it was like obviously the majority of people were the people who were playing the game from before, but newcomers were actually coming on board because they wanted to try this whole survival thing because it felt like the Battle Royale kind of thing. So maybe if it was a standalone game, it could have been very good, but added into the division, which was already a dying game, it kind of boosts things up a little bit, but it probably just was not enough. And I think the whole survival aspect was something that it needed new content, new gimmicks, as we were saying earlier, to keep it going. Because once you beat it a certain amount of times, majority of people are not going to want to do it again.
True.
I also think that survival had a lot more going around because it involved crafting and like collecting in a different way. Whereas a lot of these battle royales, the collecting is there's a bunch of shit everywhere, and you just keep looking for it. And more of the time, you're being choosy about what you like and can carry, as opposed to like trying to find anything. And you don't do any you don't do nearly as much tinkering, and you're not like surviving. You're not fighting NPCs.
Correct.
It's just very simple deathmatch stuff, which I think people still generally gravitate towards.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It was too involved. You need something simple for the simple masses.
I think it had too many things, which I liked the complexity.
I liked it too.
That's what made it exciting.
I don't think a lot of people liked it, even among
but
B3.
people don't like doing a lot of shit.
Yeah.
People just like to find stuff that's good and cool and big and blows up and then murder each other.
As long as there's guaranteed murder involved.
Correct, and then they get to talk shit on them or whatever.
That's correct.
I liked it, but I liked it as a team. Like how you, John,
Me
just
too.
sat down and played. Like I could watch you play.
I just found that people didn't like playing it.
The tactical aspect of the division is both what made it great and made people not like it.
Yeah, I just think like at that point, like a lot of my interest for the division was starting to really die back down again, because my interest for it, I had a lot of interest long before you have played it.
Yeah, I know.
But then it died out completely. It came back when we started playing it, but then it started to decline as I was starting to play some other games, and then survival came on, and I was like, oh yeah, let me try this. It started to peak back up a little bit, and then I was like, all right, done it.
Yeah. Yep.
That was fun. Okay, like if they added more stuff to it constantly, I would have been like, all right, I'll go back and check it out.
Yeah. Yep.
But after watching you beat it a good few times, and I think I beat it like twice, and I played it a bunch of other times and then beat it, I was kind of like, all right, I've done it. It's like, so what else? Like I didn't want to do the PvP aspect of it. PvP aspect. So I was like, is it going to be something else? Something else going to be added, or something's going to change? Something more dynamics, And that wasn't there, so that didn't hold me. It's a good game mode, but it's not a game mode that I feel compelled to play constantly.
Yeah.
Like.
No, I hear you.
So maybe it need more gimmicks for me. Everybody likes a gimmick. There's a gimmick for everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like Graham said, it was just a little bit too much. Like the ability.
Like different levels of things. Some people like tinkering with stuff. People like building things. Other people don't. Like the fact that anything has skill points is a turn off for some people, and is a huge turn on for others. But I think largely a lot of people just like the simplicity of, finding maybe items or gear that they like, but they don't have to think about or analyze or whatever. They don't have to use too much brain power.
Right.
And then they get to go do. So it's a lot more about, mastering the skill of shooting or the mechanics of the game as opposed to other things.
And even then, maybe not so much, because a lot of people play it that don't have like great ability in that either.
True.
Here's the thing. There is a psychological thing that you hit upon there, which is shit. Come on. Slipping already. I know what it is. they can basically blame their loss on RNG. They don't have to worry about it being their fault.
I never found
an
AK.
Yeah, it's not their fault that they didn't make the right decisions. Well, a couple of them might not be the right decisions, but people can maybe let those go. But if everybody literally had exactly the same thing, then it would absolutely be their fault, But since it's
That's
RNG, it may not. It's not all on them, It's a wider. There's less of an impact about failure. Like, I wouldn't mind playing it. I just don't care about the game mode. Maybe because I need more impact. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't
but
know.
Also, as I was stating that, and you responding to me, it made me think of something. The truth of it is that the barrier for playability is pretty low in terms of learning.
Yeah, you don't
other
have to
than
learn.
learning where shit is, which generally speaking, if there's a building, there's probably stuff in there.
Right.
It's just shooting. Walk around and shoot.
How do I pick
That's
up a
it.
thing?
There's not.
How do I use this?
All the other
soda?
nuanced like tactics and whatever are learned through feedback in the game. Like there's not a whole lot of extra thought. It's just you play the game. And I think games that are designed like that have less of a beginner barrier or learning curve or whatever, I guess. I don't know. It's less, it's more appealing.
Well, I think that's
for a lot of people.
Yeah, looking at Watusi's thing, he said, game modes do away. Basically, that's why PvP like that's popular, because you don't have to grind up to it. You just jump in. But to me, that's like deathmatch kind of stuff, Yeah, that makes sense. People don't have to work up to anything. They just go in there and
And usually I enjoy those types of things a little bit, but because it lacks that type of like tactical depth or like tinkering or whatever, I usually find it less interesting. That's why whenever I played shooters, I used to always lean towards objective, but that requires so much team play, which I really like, but other people don't like because they're like, I got to do other stuff. I have to do specific things or whatever. There's too much pressure on me and whatever, things like that. So I'm like, I get it. It's true.
Yeah. I guess it does depend on.
But talking about murdering and killing people, like my next thing is going back with Ubisoft. No, they're gonna have an open beta for Ghost Recon Wildlands, the new PvP mode that's coming in. So they're adding a PvP aspect to the game for later this year.
Before you go further, I'm just curious, context, has anybody played PvP in previous Ghost Recon games of any capacity?
Ghost Recon? No. I've never played a Ghost Recon game.
I watched some people play older Ghost Recon games.
Wildlands.
I wasn't impressed by them though.
I've played, several Ghost Recon games, but I've played a couple, 2 or 3 maybe PvP. So I was just curious about our context and experience. Go ahead, Phil.
Okay, yeah. But so basically they just announced that they're going to do this beta supposed to be late summer. Yeah,
it didn't really say.
And they didn't give a specific date. They just said late summer and that they're looking to get it out before the end of this year.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that might... I don't know how many people are playing Ghost Recon right now, Wildlands, but I think that might get some people back into it. People love their PvP and senseless kind of killing and just going out with a team. I mean, people like the whole team thing. I mean, that is their best-selling game of the year.
Yeah, I was going to say, if sales have anything to do with it, then it's doing really well. But with Ubisoft games, sales don't always equate like longevity of the game either. But I think here's one thing. Wildlands has been pretty quiet. I actually haven't heard a lot of controversy, if any. I haven't heard a lot of positives, if any. If anything, I've heard like just about nothing other than positives when it comes to sales.
It's not a talking piece, I think. Nope. Yeah, I just see news like, oh, it's doing well. Oh, there's more content.
Like I had an amazing time with the closed beta, but that was because I'm an idiot and that was a good environment for me. So, I
also think that that's probably because the game works. Like what the game was intended to do, it does, and it works. And anybody, like basic complaints that I saw about the game was basically, well, you wanted something else that the game was not set out to deliver. That's basically it. Like, I didn't really enjoy it because I was hoping that there would be more to it, but that wasn't what they said. They never promised me that. I had hopes, and because my hopes weren't fulfilled,
one thing to ruin games.
More to the beta,
all the time.
But the beta was only a small part of the game.
Yeah, but like from seeing from the beta and then seeing what they said that was gonna happen, like after you get out from the beta, like what's gonna happen the rest of the world, I was kind of like, that's not really for me. So
gotcha.
I didn't think that it was a bad game. I just thought it's a well put together game. Like especially after the first beta, like it ran like crap on my system. Like some people it was fine. Like for you, John, it ran fine.
Yeah.
And then when they tweaked it, but I don't know if it was a second beta or if they just fixed it during the first beta. It ran significantly better. So I was like, all right, well, by the time this game comes out, it'll probably run. It'll do what it's supposed to do. And if that's your thing, people are gonna buy it and play it. And tons of people did buy it and play it. So obviously, nobody was out there saying, "Oh my God, look at the facial animations," or this storyline is crap. Nobody said that kind of stuff. So I think people just played it, enjoyed it quietly enjoyed it, and that was it. So it just went under the radar because there was no controversy or nothing major about it. It was just, hey, this is a good game.
Yeah.
And my friend's playing it, so I'm going to get a copy. So that's pretty much probably how they made all their sales.
It's really interesting since you guys haven't played the PvP for the game. It has a similar tactical feel to the more tactical Ubisoft games like Rainbow Six and stuff. But at the same time, it has a more movement-oriented feel to it. So, like, Rainbow Six games a lot of times are a little bit more heavier on the camping just because of the nature of the game. But you can do that as well in Ghost Recon. Like, you'll find the areas in the map which are good locations, but there's all different types of weapons and skills, and the maps are much larger. But what a lot of people like about the Ghost Recon games is that a single bullet to the face will kill you, no matter what. And for me, I didn't like that as much because once you found a good camping spot, you could anticipate people running around a corner. You spray as many bullets into where their face should be, and you can kill them real quick.
It's like Counter-Strike then.
Yes, exactly. So it got to the point where my experience was that because it was so tactical, but it wasn't, the game environment didn't counterbalance it enough that I felt like it was just like you died too fast for what seemed to make sense. I don't know. It was really weird. It's always been a really weird feeling. I've never been able to feel comfortable with that multiplayer, even though I played a lot of it.
Well, the time spent didn't equate all the time like any value. That's what I found.
Your encounters weren't valued at all.
That's what I see about PUBG. Good. Like, to me, I see that as like you spend so much time. There's no value there if you end up just dying. Like, I'm like, I just see that I'm going to die a lot. So for me, this is my perception of it. So for me, I'm not going to get a lot of value out of it, especially since I have to keep being corralled into a central location, which for me, I love exploring. So it already does a couple of things that I don't like, But Ghost Recon, apparently... What was that?
No, I said what would draw in a difference from PUBG to Ghost Recon is like, though you were saying like PUBG is very RNG related, but Ghost Recon, I remember playing, not Ghost Recon, but playing like Tom Clancy games where you gotta go in against the terrorists. And what I found to be most entertainable, like, even if you set it to difficult mode where 1 or 2 bullets could kill you, it was kind of like, all right, what did we do wrong? What kind of strategy we went with next? That was the more the aspect of, all right, how can we come with a different strategy and then we beat it and then yes, that was like the fulfilling aspect of it to me, as opposed to PUBG. It's kind of like, oh, that guy had a shotgun, that had an assault rifle. I had to get up close. He shot me before I got there. There's nothing that, or I had the assault rifle.
Yeah,
I died because of circumstance.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, about the new PvP mode, from the article that I read, it says it's going to be called Ghost War, It's going to put 2 teams of 4 against each other in a deathmatch that builds on tactical squad play from the main game. Rather than simply play your character from the campaign, you're going to have to choose from classes, and it's going to be in a large-scale open map. So that definitely does say this is going to take a while, and yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I would not be interested in that.
I'm not interested. It sounds very similar to the previous experiences, except the team seems smaller, which
you're breaking up
very
a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah, both y'all were just breaking up.
Yeah, you were doing that too, Phil, when you were talking, but not as bad.
Ooh, all robots.
Oh yeah. God, what is going on?
Robots.
Let's see if we can ride this out just a minute. But yeah, you're still all funky robot. You're like, let me try moving this to the streaming channel. Maybe this channel doesn't have enough like bit bullshits going on.
Stream channel, baby, and do that fuck till you die.
Let's try that, because like you can set each channel to like a higher bit rate or a lower bit rate. This one's at a higher bit rate. Yeah.
Oh, that's all much better.
You don't
so
quite.
What were you saying?
There, now.
No.
Touch and go with you. It's touch and go with your voice, Phil. Maybe. Oh, there goes Graham. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rip stream.
Robots. Rip bot.
Maybe I can lower the bit. No, I don't want to lower the bit rate.
I don't think it was a problem if there's no Discord.
I think it's a Discord. I think it's a technology thing in general today.
But yeah, anyway, I think it sounds very similar to the previous experience, except that the team seems smaller, which might make you die a little bit less, which could make it better. I still won't have any interest. My favorite thing about the Ghost Recon games has always been the co-op and the co-op stuff. It's super fun, especially because back in like older days where co-op was pretty limited, like 4-player co-op was epic as shit. It had 16-player co-op missions, which was fucking awesome. But yeah,
all of that sounded fine. I just had nothing to say about it.
Ooh, good. Yeah. I was like, I just want to get this out before I become a robot again.
Right?
Whew.
No, you're good.
I'm good.
That's all I had on notes for the PvP mode. If you were asking, if that's what you were asking, Phil.
Yeah. Oh no, I wasn't asking. I was just nodding in agreement.
Okay, it sounded like you kept trying to get a word in. So.
Oh, it's probably because breaking.
Yeah, you're breaking up a lot right now too. One more thing on the back of that Ubisoft stuff. Apparently, going over their sales stuff, they said this is like their biggest, like better than last year kind of bullshit, whatever. But what I found interesting about them talking about how big their dick was, PS4 sales accounted for a much larger portion of overall sales than last year. So during this quarter, apparently, it accounted for 44% compared to 22% for Xbox One. So it's more than Xbox and it's more than last year. On the other hand, PC declined to 21 from 26% from last year. So PS4 is really selling well, Ubisoft product. So what are y'all doing on PS4? Why are you promoting the devil?
That's a good question. I want an answer, damn it.
Hey kids, you want to get down with the devil? Get a PS4.
You're in a console person, Graham. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah, you're the person that translates console things to us.
I'm still that guy that thinks that everybody still is overly favored of the PlayStation over Xbox, just because Xbox One's like pre-release was just complete garbage and made them look really bad. But in reality, the Xbox is better.
I think
I still feel that way.
And
I used to think that they were really similar until I got a PS4, and I was like, oh, this is garbage.
Yeah, I think they just didn't do good in the beginning because they didn't secure good deals with third-party developers, and that their first-party products were just not as strong early on.
Yeah,
but mainly they were too hard to develop.
A big barrier for a lot of indie developers and a lot of stuff. They just did a lot of shit wrong.
Yep. So hopefully that's going to switch around, is what they were saying, and it sounds like they are really going to switch things around. But we'll
yeah,
see.
with like the cross-platform stuff now, it's like now Sony is the block, and Xbox is being part of the cross-platform crew or whatever. That at least that's the recent trend I've gathered. The feeling, the vibes, and the console life.
Speaking of platforms and sales and whatnot, Phil, do you want to go over that June 2017 top games for all platforms?
Yeah. So I'll go through all of them quickly. Number 1 is Tekken 7. Number 2 is Injustice 2. Number 3 is Grand Theft Auto 5 for some reason. Number 4, Crash Bandicoot and Insane Trilogy. Number 5, ARMS, which is on the Switch. Number 6 with the Switch again is, and there's no Switch, is number 6 is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Number 7, Mario Kart 8, which is again Switch. Number 8, Overwatch. Number 9, 2K17, which, you know, our B3 come plays. And number 10 is Horizon.
Wow, you broke up a lot. I think I mostly got those things. I think
I got like 70% of that for sure.
Yeah, 70% sounds good to me. What was number 1 again?
Tekken 7.
Tekken 7.
Right?
Got it. I heard 7. That's what I heard.
Yeah, interesting though. GT5 was that 3, and then like the Switch games were what, 5 and 6 or
ARMS,
6 and 7?
Yeah, ARMS was I think 5.
5, 6.
ARMS and then Zelda. Yeah, interesting.
And Car 8.
Yeah. Why do I have top 10 selling games of 2017 as overall, right? That was just June.
Yes. That's just June. So the top selling games of 2017, hopefully they don't break up too much.
Well, I was going to say, do you want to try to like disconnect and reconnect? Because this is going to be really rough if you don't.
You mean
take a second, jump out, lube up, come right back.
Yeah.
To reset that might take a few minutes. So
no, I just meant disconnect from Discord. That's all. I meant shut down Discord, start it up again. Yeah, just try that.
All right,
sometimes that's a thing. All right, we'll dance and whatever here.
Ooh, dancing.
Do you guys have any thoughts on net neutrality protest? It
has two sides, and there's truth in both sides. And I followed it a little.
The protest. I don't know of any specific protests going on, but then again, I'm kind of like not really paying attention to that.
I'm guessing not like the old school type of protest where there's an actual assembly of people. I'm guessing, I'm interpreting it as the fact that people are taking a stance, like a more general protest, as in opposing.
Because the only protest or event that I kind of remember was that one day where they were like, don't stream today because then you'll have paid them money and you're going to come back because you want to, but not today. But they got your money.
Right.
Wait, what?
You can drag Homie McGee back. I think he's back on.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So, I don't have any real strong anything on that.
I think we're just
do you have any
choppy
strong anything
all over here.
With,
well, that was just filler. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it. We're like not even close to being.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was just filler.
Filler.
Huh?
Phil.
That's really long to connect now.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, things are just not great.
Phil, can you say Shorty?
Oh, God. Come on.
Shorty.
Even you, Graham,
he could sound like T-Pain. Couldn't he? I think he could.
I don't know who T-Pain is. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's fine. You don't need to.
I don't know all the rappers and hip-hop artists out there.
You know Lonely Island? You know the boat? That guy. The guy that's not the normal crew in the
Ellen?
boat song.
Did you say Ellen?
Ellen?
Lonely Island.
Oh, Lonely Island. Okay. I was going to say he's on Ellen. I don't watch that show.
Oh, fuck. I'm on
a boat.
It actually does sound like it's being done on purpose.
See?
Oh, so good.
I'm going to restart my modem.
Oh.
Carry on with. I'll restart my modem.
Okay, we'll start with Graham's first topic.
Yeah.
I know we still got Destiny 2 to cover, but we'll do that later.
We'll get there.
All right. All right, Graham.
Why don't you just go in the order that I had them listed?
Whatever you want. Whatever gets your dick hard.
Well, none of these will get my dick hard. That makes me sad because there's not enough booby games. What? Okay. There's a lot of stuff going on, every weekend ever. A bunch of games do double XP or whatever, and blah, blah. We'll get to some of those games. But what's interesting is that on Xbox, let's say you have an Xbox, you're like, I have a 360 and Xbox One, but I don't play it because my PlayStation's better. Well, if you are like, I don't want to have 2 subscriptions this weekend, you can play on the Xbox One or the Xbox 360 and have access to all multiplayer stuff. So you don't need a gold subscription to play online.
Okay.
Which
you had talked about, like, there being backwards compatibility with multiplayer as long as you owned a copy of whatever, but this is just giving everybody free access now.
Yeah, basically the subscription, like the PS Plus or the Xbox Gold and whatever the Switch is going to end up having, which allows you to like have all the online functionality and playing multiplayer and stuff.
That's going on right now.
This weekend, right now, all of the Xbox things you can play online without a thing. So yeah. So like if you want to get up on different events, like whatever double XP things might be happening, or if you're like, I want to play the Destiny 2 beta because it's open, then you can do that. Or whatever. If you have friends that wanted to play a game for a while, you can play any and all the multiplayer on Xbox consoles this weekend for free.
Wow.
You don't need a subscription to play things.
Cool. You also got into some sweet robot noise there.
Just at the end.
Well, it wasn't like recognizable English, but still, that was pretty cool. All right, that sounds cool, man. They're doing some fun stuff there. That's great for like inclusion and whatnot.
Exactly, yeah. And I didn't see anything about PS Plus. A lot of times, like the free game of the weekend, like will overlap on consoles and Steam, and sometimes they'll like a lot of them will all do similar things. I didn't see anything for PS Plus, unfortunately, but there is one for Microsoft. So if you're like, I have a console that I don't use and I don't have a subscription, well, you can play with people this weekend if you want, or try something. I don't know if you have any. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I don't have Xbox, but people do. I've heard of them.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think about something here on my list that Phil might not talk about. I'm guessing Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't interest any of us because it's Kingdom Hearts. But
my sister played it. I think both of them.
Yeah. So Kingdom Hearts 3, people
girls play
all over that game. That series, people love that series, and I like RPGs and stuff. But I'm like, what the fuck would I want Disney characters in my shit? That just makes me feel like a child the entire time I play the game. Even when I was a child, I'm like, this is like, no, I don't want to do this. This is like the gamer equivalent of walking around with like a teddy bear, but it's pretty widely accepted, so it's okay to walk around with your stuffed animal, I guess, when you're playing, Kingdom Hearts. Anyway, so what's interesting about this is that Kingdom Hearts has done Disney overlap with Final Fantasy, but now they're including some Pixar stuff. So now Kingdom Hearts 3 will visit areas such as Toy Story.
Right. Yeah, I heard about this.
And Tangled, Hercules, Big Hero 6, and maybe some other ones. So now, if you're like, I like the games and stuff, but, Disney, I've kind of seen everything, and I can only want to have sex with the Little Mermaid so many times but feel weird about it because I'm playing Kingdom Hearts. Now, you can want to have sex with all these Pixar characters, too, or something, or whatever the fuck floats your boat with Kingdom Hearts 3.
There's a snake in my boobs.
Someone poisoned her water hole. Reach for... Okay, no.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so there's that. And then I'll save Dying Light in case for when Phil comes back. The other two things I have, Pyre and Masquerada, whatever. Those are like tactical RPG type things, which I feel are more niche. But Pyre is interesting because that's from the Super Giant whatever studio, the people that did Bastion and Transistor, so it's very stylized. Yeah.
Super Giant's correct. I'm just referencing the song.
That's the one. I'm gonna drop a couple links into the thing real quick.
Sounds good.
While I do this real quick, because I pushed the talk, have you played? You've played some of the Supergiant games, right?
I have played one of the games, but I recommend two of the games. Bastion is recommended by pretty much everybody, and you have to be probably insane to not want to own that game and play it. It's been cheap. It's gone on sale, and I should have bought it, but it's one of those things where I try not to buy things that I'm not going to touch, regardless of how good it is. You know, I'm just not going to do it because I'm not going to play it.
Yeah, I didn't play Transistor, but it looked pretty neat. I played Bastion.
I played it. It's amazing, and I never finished it.
Yeah. Yeah, Bastion surprised me. Like, I'm usually a little bit more cynical or not as interested in indie titles usually. Usually more heavily criticizing them. And like a lot of people will be like, "Oh, look what they did so simplistically. They perfected it." I'm like, "Yeah, this just doesn't have substance." Like that's my perspective on things. But Bastion was really amazing, and Transistor looked really cool too. But I never played it. But anyway, so Pyre is from them. It is a tactical RPG type of concept. I watched some videos on it to try to better understand the combat system, but it was kind of hard to tell. It looked real action. As opposed to like a turn-based type thing, but it was hard to tell because I didn't see like a gameplay video. It was all like trailer type things.
Okay.
But yeah, so the whole thing is about I believe a like purgatory type-esque place based on that Christian idea of purgatory, and so you have like a trio or a party of, I think they call them exiles, and you're trying to escape it or get out.
Okay.
But yeah, so you have a lot of like little skirmishes and fights. So I think the RPG aspect, the tactical RPG aspect, is that you use the party to fight together in these little skirmishes, as opposed to like Bastion, where you wander around and you fought enemy by enemy in real time, more like a Zelda type of RPG combat, an action type of combat. Yeah. But yeah, it looks pretty interesting. That comes out on the 25th, so that's next week.
Okay.
So that's why I thought it was interesting. People who like RPGs and have good experience with Supergiant games might be something to look at. I think like a lot of things on Steam, if you pre-order it, then you get like a discount or something, like a small 10% or something.
Yeah, I think I saw 10% when I opened those links.
Mm-hmm. And Pyre will be coming to PS4 as well, but it won't be coming to Xbox at the moment. And their reasoning for that, like an article a long time ago, cited that when they were deciding to develop it, similar to like Rocket League, they didn't want to overstretch their resources on multiple platforms, so they just picked one or two to centralize on, and then they're like, maybe down the road it will, because that's what happened with Rocket League. So it was PC and PS4, and then they added the other ones. So it could eventually come to Xbox, but right now it's not. So it's just PC and PS4. But yeah, so that's cool.
Cool.
I like RPGs and stuff.
Yeah, I took a look at both of those. Those look pretty neat.
Yeah, and the other one, Masquerada, has been on PC for a while. I think it came out sometime last year, but I don't remember exactly. But it's coming in August to consoles, Xbox and PS4. But yeah, so it's another tactical type thing. It looks like isometric type of combat, but it looks like this one might be a little bit more turn-based oriented, from what I saw, and it seems like you use the party members, for lack of a better term, which could be exactly on it. Use them to like do different combos and stuff to maximize your damage and stuff. So there's a lot of character synergy and power synergy and stuff to do that. Cool. I didn't quite get the super main story of that game though, but it looked interesting. But it's got a kind of comic-esque style to the story parts of it, and it's got a nice color palette to it. Like it's all over the place. Some things look like generic outdoor things, and some areas have like a lot of really like saturated colors and are real exciting looking. So it's pretty cool looking.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah,
so
I took a look at both of them on Steam.
some little type of tactical classic isometric type of RPGs that people
probably are going to work.
Won't give a shit about, but
they're
since
probably
nobody
going to work.
talks about it, I'm like, I'm gonna talk about it because I like RPGs. Goddamn it! So, yeah.
Unlike all the other games we talk about that don't work, these will probably work. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, so that was Pyre by Supergiant, and then the second one is Masquerada Songs and Shadows, and that's already on PC, and then in August will come to console. Both consoles being PS4 and Xbox One. That other console doesn't exist in my brain really, even though it does.
Yeah. The Switch.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the
it's
one.
Like switching and stuff.
Yeah, I'll have the links and stuff like that in the patch notes or whatever.
Cool. Yeah. I guess I'm gonna talk about Dying Light. I didn't play that game. I know I watched quite a few different people stream it though. Have you ever watched anybody play it, or have you played it?
I watched maybe one or two people play a little bit of it, but I never really got into watching it. It kind of didn't capture my attention, except for one part. The part where you could like drop kick. No, I don't know. It was like you would do like a jumping kick in the chest of a zombie with both feet. That I like that part.
Yeah, like a missile drop kick and they go flying.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. I watch people do that a lot. It's really funny.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like it would be fun. But yeah, I never got into it either because platforming is the devil to me because I'm so terrible at it. And zombies don't inherently do anything special for me. So I'm like, a parkour zombie game. No, I think I'm good. But I've watched a lot of people play it, and it looks like a game lots of people have had fun. But anyway, that game apparently this next year, it sounds like, I'm looking for the specific date. It just says over the course of the next 12 months, so within the next year, there's going to be 10 pieces of DLC that will be free. So
cool.
Completely free DLC, 10 things of content. How much content that is going to be or what that means exactly, it didn't really say.
Yeah. One of them could
will
be,
release
here's
10 pieces of DLC. Exactly, yeah. It could be like, oh, you get to wear this cool hat. Or it could be like actual like gameplay areas, or it might be a new skill. Don't really know. The only things that it said in general terms was new enemies, in-game events, which could be a single thing. New locations to explore, which again could be any degree of whatever, and much, much more, which is even more vague. So, curb your excitement if you're really excited about that with a little bit of realism, so you don't have your
curb your enthusiasm. Yeah, great show.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, 10 free DLCs in 12 months is pretty cool. That's pretty nice, and it's free, which is really cool of them too. And it's always nice to see people support the game, even if it's not free. It's just nice to see that they're doing that. But yeah, but apparently there's still roughly 500,000 players that are still playing the game weekly, which is, I don't know where those numbers came from, but it's part of the article. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah, who knows? Probably made them up. But,
exactly.
That's cool. I mean, it looked like it was. I know it had some issues, like performance-wise. I think when it first came out, it kind of pushed tech a bit and wasn't so like friendly. But time has moved on. People get better equipment. So yeah.
I had some stuff that overlapped. I could talk about ESO, which I may or may not do depending on when Phil gets back. I might keep that brief. But there's a game I came across called Citadel, Forged with the Fire. It's an MMORPG.
Gotcha.
I'm like, oh, a new MMO is announced. That's neat. So I was just like, maybe like, somebody who plays MMOs like John Slice or Count will end up talking about it. So I was like, let's go see and learn about it. So at a glance, most people are looking at it, I'm guessing, are going to be like, oh, it looks like a MMO Skyrim, because that's what it looks like, a first-person type of open-world sandbox fantasy environment. That's the context.
Okay.
But what's interesting to me about it is the developers are Blue Isle Studios, which I'm like, that sounds familiar, but I have no idea what the fuck they did. They've only have 2 games to their name. Valley, which didn't sound familiar, and
I know what that
Slender
is.
the Arrival. So it's them, and they're doing an MMO. So that's really weird because that's neither of those other games.
I think I know what Valley is. Let me just find out if I see Yep. I know exactly what it is. Yep. You like have like legs that can make you jump really far and whatnot. I think it's a
that's
first
interesting.
person. It's actually really neat. And
Yeah.
you can power your stuff by either helping. I mean, you can help stuff in the valley, like come back to life, grow a tree, but it uses power from
Interesting.
you. And then you also need power in order to do your like big jumps, and that means that you have to take life from like animals.
Ah.
So it's up to you. But there's also
So
power
that
on the
sounds
ground.
sandboxy and
Oh
open
yeah,
world. Then okay,
very
so
much.
that's neat.
Yep.
And so from what you've seen, because you've seen it, right? You haven't played it.
Mm-hmm.
What did the movement look like? Did it look pretty clean?
Well, you had these legs that like they could make you jump really, really far, and it was
Okay.
first person, so it was very kind of a little. You got to get used to it.
Disorienting.
Yeah, a little disorienting. Plus the jumping, you would think, oh, I'm gonna jump. No, you jumped really far. But I think
Nice.
the stronger the jump, the more power you used. And the movement looked pretty good, actually. It's definitely something I could get used to playing. It's just, it was very open box. Sandbox. Yeah, open box is fine, I guess,
World,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, open world.
box is
Yeah, open
fun.
box. Cats everywhere. So there wasn't really. It seemed like a proof of concept. So maybe that's what that was. Maybe it
Yeah.
was just them testing out, hey, can we do this randomly generated world or whatever the fuck they were doing with it?
Yeah.
And does this engine hold up? Can we do a world in this engine, And so maybe that's what that was. But it's
Yeah.
pretty neat.
So Citadel Forged with Fire is from them, and it looks like an open world RPG fantasy sandbox. In like the announcement trailer or whatever, they had castles being built, different like generic fighting, melee, and magic combat stuff. I also saw flying on broomsticks. I was like, when does this become Harry Potter? Like legitimately with wands and shit. It was really weird.
Every MMO always offers like, we can do everything. Watch us, you can do anything ever.
And if they're going for that sandbox feel, especially if you can build castles and whatever, like I don't know what the limitations, whatever this is going to have, but it's pretty interesting. Yeah, they also say that you can tame beasts. I don't know exactly if that's going to look like that. What was that dragon MMO that Count played?
I don't remember the name of that MMO.
Whatever that one was.
He played it for a little bit. Like every game that he gets all excited about and buys, he plays for like 5 seconds and then drops it.
He gets really excited. He blows the load and he's done.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting. So it's going to head into early access on Steam on the 26th. So that's next week. And then eventually they plan a full release later on Xbox One and PS4.
Gotcha.
And as they're going through the early access thing, they have stated, Blue Isle, that they want to work closely with the community to build the ultimate fantasy sandbox game that is playable online with friends. So there you go. Yeah. So they want you to tell them why you're mad that it's not Skyrim-y enough or whatever.
No, they're just asking for death threats and bags of candy dicks.
Yep, candy dicks.
Please tell us how much you hate us. Yeah.
So that, it has all the kind of standing things, that you're like, oh, what can I do? Well, you can tame shit. You can, form alliances, create whatever, probably guilds or whatever the fuck they call them in that game. Explore a bunch of shit. Learn a bunch of spells and apparently fly brooms and whatever, a dragon or other animals, or you probably, they say, or alchemy, you can use to fly. So maybe there's spell crafting, building castles and stuff, and there's probably some degree of character customization. But if it's first person, it's good, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's neat. So that's something that could end up being, something that's cool and different, or it could end up being something that kind of falls into the background. And for years from now, when it closes, people read an article and they're like, I don't know what this is. Anyway, but it's a thing. So Citadel Forged with Fire, a new MMO RPG from Blue Isle. Early access next week.
Neato.
Neato.
Yeah, we got to see. MMOs always start, and you gotta give them like a year to see what's going on with them.
Absolutely.
Like I said, ESO was the same way too. People judged it too harshly when it first came out, and it ended up look at me now, Mom. You know.
Yeah.
So I did it.
No one took me to prom, but now all of them are pregnant.
Now look
sluts,
at these titties.
I have a
Exactly.
mansion.
Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, you went a different. Okay. All right. Never mind.
Titties, mansion. Either way, it's
me
big.
to prom.
It's big, and people are happy when they're, touching. Never mind.
Yeah.
All right. So you got that. Elder Scrolls Online yesterday started the Mid-Year Mayhem event. So yesterday through the end of July. It's the first one of it. Lore has to do with going way back when White Strike and Saint Alessia, which is a bunch of human-type folks overthrowing the old elf folk.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
Racism.
the whole thing. So, so it's a whole big battle about that. So that's the lore. So if you're like, I like story, you can go and talk to the person and learn about that. But you get a bunch of cool boxes and double AP. So that's like the currency / experience in PvP. So you get a scroll that you can use, and then you get a bonus to that. So you can earn a bunch of stuff. And as we talked about a week or two ago with the Horns of the Reach DLC coming sometime in August, you'll be able to deposit your AP and share it amongst your characters. So now you can hoard up a whole bunch now and share that. And then the crate boxes give you Telvar stones, which is the currency collectible in the Imperial City DLC, where you collect it, and if you get murdered by a player, they steal half of what you're carrying.
Oh, wow.
So if you're like, I never was able to get a lot because I kept getting murdered, well, now you'll get some guaranteed in every box, it sounds like. And you can get a bunch of different alliance motifs. So whatever character you're playing, you can get alliance motifs let you make your armor look in a certain style. So you can wear your alliance's motif. You can also get the Akavari, which is the really expensive alliance points motif pages. Like if you want the Akavari swords or chest piece, it's 500,000 alliance points, which is a lot. But that's the style that looks like a samurai. So all you weebs, you might be able to get some samurai armor motif pages out of the drops. And there's a bunch of other PvP related stuff. Cold Fire Siege, which is super OP damaging siege weaponry, and all that related PvP stuff. And it has different rewardables and in-game achievements and things like that. So if you like PvP, it's going to be amazing. If you're not sure if you like PvP, it's a good time to try out PvP. So and that's from yesterday all the way through the end of July. So from now until the rest of July, it's a thing. And if it's no longer July, then you missed it. So there you go.
Gotcha. Cool. Mid-Year Mayhem.
And those are all my specific things besides Pacific Rim, which I could talk about. Should I talk about Pacific Rim? It's not a game. I should save it for later.
Yeah, no, let's go for it. I don't care.
Have you seen Pacific Rim? I think you have, right?
I saw the original. Yeah, it's one of the only movies in my history of ever watching movies at a theater that I actually bought my tickets ahead of time and went and waited in line ahead of time, even though there wasn't much of a line because nobody cared about it.
Yeah.
And I was there.
I remember.
Yeah. Whoa,
Rock'em Sock'em Robots the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a little different.
By myself with my one buddy, and people
Nice.
walking past what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's so awesome.
Yeah, and this was in my professional period of life as well, and I'm putting on Facebook saying everybody needs to go watch this and support this movie because big kaiju, come on, robots, people, do it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I have a coworker who it's their number one favorite default movie. They will always watch it 100% of the time.
Wow.
And you're like, hey, why was it? Yes. And they're like, yeah, it's not even that good, but I just really like it. And when I first watched the first movie, it was incredibly predictable. I literally predicted 97% of the movie. I'm like, is this person going to end up doing this?
Yeah.
And then it would happen like 15 minutes later. And then like this big build up. I'm like, I'm guessing that such and such is going to happen, even though as far as the movie had discussed that doesn't even exist because the limit is at this number. But I'm guessing this is going to be a new number, isn't it? And then it was. And I'm like, yeah, it's fair. But it's entertaining because it was like super kind of cliche.
And that's the thing.
The acting
like I did not go in there thinking like, I would, no, I already knew. If you watched any of those old movies, they were not about the quality writing. They were not about like, oh, this Godzilla film is no. It's because it's a big monster and it's gonna fuck some shit up. That's all you wanted to see.
And that shit happens.
Yes.
Lots of fucking just beating the shit out of people.
You don't go for the story, and you had to go to support it because that type of movie had not come out in so long. And if Hollywood sensed a failure, they were never going to do it again. And so that's why I was like, you need to go watch this fucking movie. Spend some money and watch it because we need it to happen or I'll kill you or send you a candy bag, the dick of candy bags. Wait, dick of candy bags? Yeah, we'll do it that way.
Candy dick bags. So this new one, the sequel, which... I think a lot of people are like, I don't think that's going to happen. Well, it's happening. And February 23rd of next year is when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
It's called Pacific Rim Uprising. The trailer's kind of funny to me. It has the kind of Gladys from Portal voice to it.
Yeah.
And it's like a recruitment video. That's what basically the theme of the video. So it's all like join up, be part of a whatever, pilot a Jaeger, and it's pretty funny. It's got what's that guy's name? I'm just blanking. But anyway, so it's got Jaegers doing stuff and all the robot voice, but it was pretty funny. I don't know if it was intended to be funny. I don't think it was hilarious, but it made me laugh. But that's probably because I know what to expect because it's Pacific Rim. So
are you saying it had Idris Elba?
No, it was somebody else. I'm blanking.
He's the only one that's like actually important in the movie. So, I mean, there's other people there, but they're not cool. Symbiotic. I wanted giant robots fighting giant monsters. That's what I got. Yep. I left the theater. Exactly. I went in and sat down in my roller coaster, put on the fucking harness, and shut my brain off, and just like drooled all over. It was so good. Exactly. It was so good. It was not, but it was. Yeah. It's
John Boyega. That's what it was.
I don't know who that is.
The guy from the Star Wars movie that was like A New Hope, but wasn't A New Hope.
Oh, okay.
The Stormtrooper guy.
Yeah.
Finn.
There you go.
That's what it was.
That's right.
I was like, all these names are bad. I just can't remember any of the names. But yeah, that's what it is, John Boyega.
That's cool. So, I did not watch that teaser trailer because I'm very like if I know I'm gonna like do something, I won't usually touch whatever the media is surrounding it. Yeah.
And, don't want to just let it be.
It doesn't bother me to not know. Yeah. I'm actually very happy with it. And if I want to watch the trailer, I'll watch the trailer later. I make that decision. So yeah.
Exactly. So so John Boyega in it, and so
yeah,
Pacific Rim. So should be a good time.
Yeah.
All I have left are overlapping things. So
yeah, Phil died. I think he's gotten. He's gotten dead.
Yeah.
Yep. My dog's gonna die.
That's not happy.
Yeah, he's hacking up something or whatever. Okay, well, if you wanna, let's see, Titanfall 2, Doom, Telltale, and Telltale. What was Telltale? Was that the whole thing about?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you mentioned in your notes the Wolf Among Us, which I think is the most exciting thing out of all of it.
I have something for Humble Bundle and Telltale as well. Is that what you can
add that.
Okay.
No, mine is the new seasons that are coming up.
Oh, okay. All right.
Telltale's update revealed that there'll be 3 new seasons, so they're adding seasons to pre-existing series. So the Wolf Among Us is going to get that long-awaited second season. So that story that series will continue. So hooray! I think that's what everybody's super excited about. Other people will probably be excited that the Batman Telltale series is getting another season.
Sorry.
The Batman.
Yeah.
It's called Batman: The Enemy Within. And then the fourth season of The Walking Dead, which will apparently be its last. So the last The Walking Dead Telltale series one.
Cool.
So yeah. So there's those three. But yeah.
About The Wolf Among Us, it just said releasing in 2018, and it's going to feature a fresh story arc for its returning cast of characters. And Bigby, the wolf, of course, and Snow White will be returning as far as characters are concerned.
Nice. Yeah, I think The Walking Dead is also 2018 sometime. The Batman one, I think, is August sometime, the first one, and then like probably over the course of the fall, the rest of the episodes or whatever. So probably like, Black Friday or Christmas or something, or sooner. That whole season will be out.
Gotcha.
So, yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Batman for this fall, and then Wolf Among Us, and the last one of The Walking Dead sometime next year. So that's cool.
Nice. Yeah, I don't see Phil back on. I'm just going to keep pushing forward. Okay, so going to try to wrap this up here. Not too many things I have. Although we're about an hour 38. That's not too bad, but we could probably finish in 2 hours, I hope. This is something that Watusi brought up. Diablo 3 Necromancer was released. Diablo 3 Season 11 apparently started last Thursday. Well, actually, this past Thursday, which would be July 20th. And in that whole, I was like, well, what does that mean? What is Season 11? Like, what's going on? I don't understand Diablo. I don't know what's going on anymore. Apparently, you have the option of, winning things, throughout the season, getting your character to a really high level, and you can get stuff for them, like pets and equipment, gear that you can wear. Armor.
Are they, and you might not know this, are they things that are more like RNG, like you get a reward from this list? Okay, so you're like, I'm doing this, and I've performed at this level, I should be getting this thing.
I believe that is accurate.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
Based on what this says here. Granted, I don't see that I reached this plateau level and you get this exactly, So it could be that way. It could be an RNG thing, but the article doesn't say it, and I don't have no knowledge of it. So
somebody out there who knows what we're talking about anyway will be like, it works like this. I know how this works.
Exactly.
Just be yelling at our voices.
This is the part of the podcast where I say this is not a gaming news network. So yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
If there's nothing accurate, then I'm sorry. Yeah, but that's all I got on that. I don't really have much. Necromancer, yeah, Bony Pony. There you go. Paragon version 42 changes. No more hero level caps in games. Now, it's not out yet. It'll be in August. No more hero level caps during the game, so your character can just infinitely level during the game, which should create faster gameplay is what they're thinking. The leveling apparently is also going to be faster in the game. So they're changing card XP, the CXP, over to gold, which is a very standard thing for MOBAs. So they're kind of conforming, I think, to current standards out there is what's going on here. I don't know about the level cap thing. I don't think that's norm. Actually, I don't think that's norm. Unlock heroes. Oh, yeah. You know how currently when you're a new player, you unlock your heroes based on how many days you log in a row. Now it's going to be based on account level progression, which is honestly a better way to handle that.
I think that makes way more sense.
Way more sense.
It's less open to players, but I think it's a more logical progression that's going to be more in line with a player's understanding of the game and progression.
Yeah. It rewards people that play, not just people that log in. So, on one hand, it's less inclusive, right? Because all you had to do before was just log in until you got to the hero that you wanted, right? Maybe. Right. But on the other hand, this is hopefully going to encourage actual gameplay.
Exactly. Yeah, this change seems more restrictive, but it's more appropriate as well.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of daily logins. I'm going to log in if I want to, and even if other people were like, well, it makes it, you're right, it's true, but I'm not playing games fully because it's a logic-based function that I do. It's more of an emotional gratification than anything. So let's see here. Your characters are going to get crowns based on like levels. I don't really understand that. I looked at the image for it. I don't really understand, and I'm not even sure if it's based on.
You have a link of that image? Okay.
I don't have it like on me, but anybody can go just look at Paragon V42 changes. It's up there. I think it's called like mid-year changes or whatever. I'm just bringing these things up. Once again, it's more of interest points for people to go and like look up shit. Plus, it makes things faster with the podcast, so we don't have to like explain every detail. I got a bunch of things here. Rival skins? They didn't explain it. And I think there's a reason why some of this stuff was not explained, because it was a huge data mine leak of information. It was not a leak. It was a data mine of information that was all over. People saw images, they saw cards, they saw everything. So I almost feel like they're giving even less information in the update, on the update page of the blog itself, because people kind of saw. It's kind of like penis is fully erect, and then now it's half. Oh no, not so erect. Oh. See, to me, I don't know how it is that I can avoid these things. Maybe it's because I don't have people that are like shoving content in my face that I don't want to look at, But I can imagine if you're like a large streamer or YouTuber, people are just like, hey, did you see that one thing that does this? Blah, 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 blah. Oh my God. No, I did not. Now I know this thing that I didn't want to know, So it's probably harder to avoid that information when you have more people that are throwing information at you. But for me, it's easy to avoid data mine stuff. I just don't look at it.
Yeah.
Any hint of it, I just don't. I'm like, oh, did you see that data? Nope, and I don't care. End of story. Yeah, but I can see how it's a problem for people that, have a lot of people in their Discord or whatever, and they're throwing up stuff or whatever. Also, apparently, they're going to be migrating over all the old cards, card packs, chests, mastery levels. There's a kind of an issue though. There's going to be a lot of retroactive rewards for those that already own hero masteries. You're going to keep your earned progression on owned masteries. So if you've already bought a mastery for a hero, you're apparently going to get retroactive goodies when the new system comes into play. Now, on the other hand, if you have not purchased your mastery for a hero, let's say you're at level whatever the fuck, but you haven't bought that unlock mastery, you're going to lose that progression.
Right. Like my Sparrow, which is the first one I played, I don't have the mastery for because I don't play her as much anymore, but she's ranked 5.
Yeah.
Because I played her so heavily. So I'm like, I think I'm going to want to buy her mastery before this happens.
Right. Because all the the rewards that you get, you're basically, if you don't, how does that, what are you losing there?
It sounds like if you have the mastery, that is the insurance on your progress. If you don't have it, then when everything gets redone,
it sounds like you just reset back to 1 then, right? Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing.
Because they want you to gain all the new stuff as well, is what it is. But people that already have the mastery, they're going to have whatever they unlocked, let's say card packs, blah, 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 whatever, but they're also going to get whatever they would have gotten had they worked up that way. Okay, got it. All right, I got it. All right. So they're just making other people that haven't got mastery do extra. That's weird. There's probably something there logic-wise with data that they can't ensure if like a flag is not ticked for like mastery check, So there's probably just maybe too many data points for them to like have to set or something like that. Who knows?
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just see it as like, you invest in mastery, so you spent whatever a rep. Here's a little bonus because in the new system, that's not a thing. So it's just like some sort of appeasement for those who are like, I did all this. Blah, blah, blah,
yeah, it sounds like it's good for everybody overall. I can only see that one small weird little point there about like, they're basically, and here's the other thing, they keep saying it throughout their little live casts and whatnot. They're like, buy your masteries now. It's going to be better for you. They keep stressing that. So I'm guessing it just means that it's going to be less work that you have to do, I guess, because of that lost level progression. I guess that's what it is, Okay. Anyways, I don't care about guessing or assumptions or any of that stuff. Let's move on. Titanfall. Assault, a strategy game for mobile devices, developed by Particle City, coming out later sometime. I don't know. I did look at images for it. This is a wonderful news network, isn't it? I looked at images for it, and it's a 3/4 view, kind of like StarCraft, kind of like, there was this one like game that was like German-based or whatever that I played. Did I get rid of that game? I think I got rid of that game. I think they gave me a free copy, and then I never played it again. But basically, it's like a 3/4 view, yeah, strategy type game with like Titanfall related stuff. So if you can't have enough Titanfall in your life, apparently there's going to be a mobile game for you to fucking play too. So I'm not angry at it. I don't know why. I don't know why I said it that way. Drop Zone. It looked very similar to Drop Zone.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like
a
a basketball kind of game with aliens, or you slam dunk an alien in a hole. Sounds like a Saturday night. Whoa. So moving on. Blizzard ends support for games on Windows XP and Vista. I say good fucking riddance. I don't give a shit. People, if you're using Windows XP and Vista now, how do you survive all the viruses? I don't know. Moving on. Big Doom update unlocks DLC. Revamps multiplayer. That's what I have here. I should put a comma between those. And yeah, apparently it's a lot of stuff. What are your... I paused so you could get that in there.
That's the update.
Oh yeah, 6.66. I have problem with S's. Bethesda and ID Software are doing away with Doom's $40 season pass and unlocking its multiplayer DLC for all players. Progression system's also going to be revamped. Let's go back to that first point. Did you hear what I just said? They're going to do away with the $40 requirement for the season pass, and they're going to give it to everybody. What the fuck, Bethesda and ID? What about the people that paid for that shit? What is this process? What is going on there? That's some outrage. I'm sorry, I'm doing this for whoever's outraged out there, because I actually don't give a fuck. But that is kind of a weird practice. You know, it's like...
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's like what Battleborn did. They were like, hey, everybody that bought all this stuff and you bought early, guess what? Everybody's going to get it for free now. Yeah. But you get like 10,000 in-game rep, which gets you a fucking banner.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Sounds like the multiplayers really changed that hack system that they had before, the hack modules and all that. That's apparently changed out for like I think like a token system or something like that. And it's also not like RNG based where you get random things as you progress in your multiplayer career. We'll put it that way, right? It's a set progression, like there's an actual path that you follow to go up. Like you unlock certain things as you go up this system of progression. If you want to know more about it, I suggest you go look it up. There's a lot to it. And true. I might go fuck with it a little bit. I don't know.
Also, since it is the free game this weekend, I believe.
Is it?
I think so.
I know they were going to have a free. Yeah, wasn't
I believe it's the free one. I'm not on Steam, so I can't double check that it's free on Steam right now. But I know... because through an Xbox news site is where I pulled my info. So on top of the Xbox having the free multiplayer weekend, you don't need a subscription to try the multiplayer this weekend because the game is also free. But it has 2 campaign missions this weekend as well.
Ends in 1 day, 18 hours.
There you go.
And it's also on sale right now, 50% off for $15. American dollars, please.
America. So so you can play it this weekend to give it a whirl, and then if you choose to buy it, apparently you get all the stuff.
There you go.
Because it's all free now. So there you go.
So rip anyone that bought all that shit for $40.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Eat it.
So I bought the game for $20 last year. And now I get to have all that free content and shit. So
that daughter you had, ID Bethesda and ID, or they're just going to give her away for free now.
That's right.
Yep.
You brought that money. You bought that corsage for her and everything, and now you're a scrub because I'm going to bang her for nothing.
Spent all that money raising her and everything, sending her to school. They're going to make her a prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Bethesda and ID. Moving on, MLB. I've got a point here about the Major League Baseball logo and Overwatch logos. The Overwatch competitive, the new competitive stuff that they're getting into, which has actually NBA, MLB owners, like baseball team owners that are buying into the Overwatch esports teams as well. But the logos look really fucking similar. All you have to do is put MLB and Overwatch logos into Google and look at them side by side, and you're like, these belong in the same brand. They do. They're.
I'm gonna do that right
style.
now. I remember the MLG looking very similar, but I don't remember it being like identical. So I'm curious to see how this is.
MLB
anyway,
and they're very similar in style for sure. If you did not know that they did not belong to like in the same brand, you would assume that they were like the Overwatch thing was like maybe a subsidiary or subdivision or something like that of that company. Graphic wise, so apparently Major League Baseball, the MLB, filed an opposition to kind of like say, hey, look, that logo's a little, come on, right? Come on. So they're granted an extension for like another 90 days to like for them to figure out what they want to do about that. I guess filing some like, I guess maybe sue them or something, or try to request them to like change the logo look or something like that before it becomes like patent or not patent, but copyright. Like they can, Overwatch, Blizzard can own the copyright to the look of it. So I did not read about the design company that created it, but that's going to be interesting for me later on. I just found this like a little bit before the podcast. This is in my wheelhouse. So I definitely like looking at that stuff because the logos are, they're a kind of thing that I like. But yeah, they're way too similar. Somebody fucked up somewhere. They definitely, and you know what? It might have been absolutely intentional. It may have been absolutely intentional because they wanted to draw people's minds to, Overwatch being similar in a way to MLB. And so that absolutely could have been, intentional. Whether or not the design company wanted to do that or not, the people that pay for them for the design have the overriding, ruling on that. So there you go. And they'll deal with whatever legal bullshit. And this also just may have been to cause a little controversy as well. There's so many damn, fucking marketing bullshits going on nowadays. You can never really tell what the true intention of companies are. But companies are people. So, yeah. Latest Humble Bundle has a bunch of Telltale games. It includes Sam & Max, Puzzle Agent, and Bone. I don't know what that is. I'm just reading shit here, man. It also also comes with the first season of Walking Dead. That's at the lowest level. Like you pay $1 or something like that. The next tier unlocks. The average is about like $7.43, and that's at the time of apparently me copying and pasting that into my notepad. And that comes with the more recent Telltale series, Tales from the Borderlands, the second season of The Walking Dead, and Game of Thrones, which I don't care about at all, but I know the meme song. Humble Bundle promises that more games will be unlocked for this tier in the coming days as well. So that's awesome if you want to spend a couple bucks, right? More than a couple bucks, $7.43 probably get you a meal somewhere. Finally, if you spend at least $15, you're also going to apparently make Windows screens come up because I just hit my keyboard. You'll also receive a copy of Telltale's Batman series and Minecraft Story Mode. Huh? Telltale Minecraft. Who doesn't want that?
Doesn't story mode of Minecraft sound just amazing to you, Janser?
It's got Patton Oswalt. I'm not even joking. I am so not interested in Minecraft in Telltale format. That sounds like the stupidest and boringest piece of shit that ever fucking existed, but it is a thing.
I bet you that somewhere on the internet is probably a machinima made by like 3 or 4 14-year-olds that are basically that story.
Yeah, they probably took that. They probably took it. But Patton Oswalt got paid for that, so God bless that man, right? For fucking fooling those motherfuckers. No, I'm kidding.
Let's take a game that doesn't have a story, and let's create a game that's story-oriented to tell its story.
Who can we get that children identify with? Patton Oswalt!
Right? Yeah.
Somebody at the whoever Telltale really likes Patton Oswalt, and that's how that came about. So, anyways, Humble Bundle, Telltale. There you go. Give them your money. Next free Titanfall 2 DLC. Motherfucking God, they're finally going to do it. Frontier Defense, July 25th. It's about time.
And it really is. And it's really interesting because when I first saw the thing, it said 4-player co-op mode. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I clicked on it, and then I saw it, and I was like, oh, Chanzer's going to be so happy.
Oh, yeah. I'm not even bothered by the fact that it's only 5 maps initially, which is disturbing. But I'm not even really... because I've been waiting for fucking Frontier Defense!
Yeah, it's pretty good news. Getting close to the full year.
The only other game mode that if you turn on Titanfall 1 right now, there are still people playing Frontier Defense in the world. I'm not saying you're going to get a game. I'm saying that you can see a number that says there's it's the only other game mode that has people playing it. The other one being kill everybody mode. Right? Everybody loves, team deathmatch. Team deathmatch. Attrition. There you go. Attrition. That's the free for all, I think, actually.
Yeah.
Attrition. Yeah. Attrition was it still retains hundreds of whatever players around the world. Just hundreds. It's overflowing with hundreds, right? While Frontier Defense on Titanfall 1 retains ones of people, just in single digits. It's just out the ass. So. The important part is they're not playing. That mode was one of the last modes to be like it's literally last man standing kind of thing, if you ignore the other game mode. The important part is you look at your fucking metrics and what works, and then you put it last. Get the fuck out, you fucking idiots! I'm sorry. I'm gonna be playing the shit out of this.
Hey, speaking of playing the shit out of it, did you come across also that next weekend it's the free game?
I did.
Yeah, so there you go. So next weekend, you totally get to play it even if you don't own it.
Yeah, totally. There are also some other updates with this, like stupid paint bullshit and some kind of maps. Or I don't give a fuck about any of that. Frontier Defense.
Painting and whatever.
Frontier Defense, 4 days. That's all I care about.
4-player co-op.
War paint, microtransactions. That's pretty much that's what the story was about. Life is Strange Before the Storm will be a prequel about Chloe and Rachel. Everyone's favorite character, Chloe. Actually, ironically, actually, a lot of people really like Chloe just because Chloe, I have tattoos and I'm an angsty teen and I feel like that way too. And she's like that. Fuck the system.
Back when I was her age, I would have been afraid to like that person and I would have made fun of them.
Chloe smokes weed.
She's fucking hot.
I want to bang her. Lesbians.
She's so free-spirited. I wish I was as brave as her.
Yeah. Anyways, the thief drug dealer / what else, man? What else? She's just selfish, self-involved. Yeah. Anyways, not going to be voiced by, Tiny Tina because they're on strike.
People are going to be mad.
Yeah, they're on strike, so... Anyways, yeah, that's going to be the thing. I know that's out there. People probably know about it, but whatever. Moving on, Casey Hudson, who initially left BioWare in August 2014. Remember the Mass Effect Andromeda? Casey Hudson left during that. So he was the original director on Mass Effect Andromeda, and he fucked off. He's going to be returning to take up the position at BioWare as general manager, replacing Aaron Flynn. So, after all of the Mass Effect, Andromeda, hubbubs, blubs, that guy, Aaron Flynn's like, all right, yeah, I guess I'm not working here anymore. So, they're replacing him with Casey Hudson. So, yeah. So, he's going to be in charge during Anthem. So, fingers crossed that he doesn't fuck anything up. Granted, it wasn't him that was responsible for the end result. Blame management on that. Moving on.
Yeah.
Super Hot coming to PS4 July 21st. And Graham, I brought this one just for you because I think that it's a game that you would probably do pretty well at because it is tactical based and it's time based.
I've watched it, and the look of it has never appealed to me, but the concept of the execution of it is fascinating.
Hold on. What did you just say? The look of it? Mister, I don't care about what things look like in video games. I don't even pay attention.
It's not the style of it. It's because the
character didn't have massive titties? Because it wasn't Senran Kagura?
That one game where they're dancing around and with the boob robot non-face lady. No. See, Super Hot is really cool because of the tactical nature of it. But what from the look of the gameplay that I don't like about it is that it has the same simplicity that is
it's not
like
about
perfection,
graphics, man. It's about the gameplay, man.
Exactly, which is it demands perfection. It's similar to a lot of retro platformer games in the concept that you redo shit over and over again until you master the execution of it. And that type of gameplay doesn't always appeal to me because it's limiting how I can execute stuff, even though I feel like there's some ways that you can change the way. Ultimately, in this level, you have to use that guy's gun to shoot those guys. There's some wiggle room in some of the later levels, but a lot of it is just like, all right, figure out what to do, and then it's execution. For me, I like the figuring it out part, but then the execution part gets really old, especially if I'm not doing well with it.
Interesting.
So yes.
I would see this as like there's two elements there that would be right up your fucking alley, which is execution and tactics. You know, predictive tactics. And so that's why I was like, oh, you'd probably be really good at this.
Yeah. I love the tactics of the game. I like when I watch some people stream and I'm like, ooh, I think they should do this and this and this. And then I get to watch them execute it and it's fun. But I think about if I was playing it, I'd be like, oh, god damn it, I was off by like 1 centimeter and now I have to redo it again. And I would get frustrated with it. So, yeah. I'd be like, I understand what to do here, but it's not letting me do it, or I'm failing at doing it, which is why I don't like platformers, because I'm like, I understand conceptually what I'm supposed to do, but the execution of it isn't always great.
Gotcha.
So that was my assumption based on seeing the game. The look of the game tells me that I won't like it, but I love the idea of the game. So yeah, but I might enjoy it. But
so
yeah,
put boobs on all the characters, and it becomes
yes.
Got it. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Can I shoot this gun from my cleavage?
Mm-hmm. And if I shoot someone in the tit, does it leak milk? What?
Wait, that's not how that works.
It would in an anime.
Well,
and then tentacle monsters.
It would in anime. That's true. Tentacles would come out of nowhere. It's true.
Mm-hmm. Probably out of the milk hole.
All right. There are melee weapons in the game too, but regardless,
katanas and stuff, and you can throw them, which is really cool.
Yeah. So you never got into Hotline Miami then, right? Because this is the same idea.
That game,
this is the same idea as Hotline Miami. Exact same idea.
I like playing Hotline Miami for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then I get annoyed because you die and you have to redo the same execution pathway 300 times. And that style, like, it reminds me of retro games.
Wouldn't you say that that's Dark Souls as well, though? I mean, they do the same kind of bullshit.
No, but yes. I mean, in a simplified format, when you strip away a lot of things, yes. Yeah. But with Dark Souls, you can tackle an entire area differently in more of a way. Like, you can bypass an entire area, which I guess you could do, like, in sense, like, with
I see.
Miami, you could avoid some rooms, but you still have to kill everybody, so you have to do it.
Sometimes in Dark Souls, you can alternate path, and sometimes you can't.
Correct. And you can change your strategy, and I feel like there's a lot more choice, whereas in a lot of these games, you decide a pathway, you decide a form of execution, you like lay out your plan, and then it's just execute over and over, and you throw yourself at it mercilessly until you perfect it.
Well, definitely in a lot of these other games, what it is the forward path is the forward path, and that's all there is.
Correct.
Dark Souls, you can wander around a bit. You have a lot more depth to the gameplay as well. Like, your character has literal depth to it because of the stats and whatnot. So it's not like just to focus on execution of a jump.
Correct.
or timing
like,
of like I've got to dodge this character, jump over that thing, and eat the mushroom, and then go fucking crazy.
And a lot of older games were more formatted like that, and like Crimsonish is really good at those types of games. I like watching him play them. But I don't like playing him as much. Like he loves that type of stuff, but he's really good at like that execution. Like he really thrives on like that perfection and perfecting things. And me, I get frustrated by the fact that I've had to walk through the same room, hit the same dude at the door, and stab him literally 50 times because the fourth guy in the room shoots me.
Yeah.
And so I get annoyed by the repetition of it because it's unenjoyable.
That's called getting old, by the way, just to let you know.
I have always felt that way about specific games. So I've been very old when it comes to platformers.
Yeah, when you're too tired, when you're too old for this shit, that's what I'm too tired for that. I don't want to do it again. And I already did all of it. Look, I know what the outcome is. Good enough for me.
So I've been too old for a lot of retro platform and indie games because they all use a lot of that type of experience.
I don't like the whole
I hate it.
required failure in order to move forward thing either.
Yeah, the trial and error thing.
Like I don't
Dark
mind
Souls,
failing on my own.
I'm okay
I don't
with
like
it.
when I'm required to fail. You know?
Correct. Yeah. Feedback is important, and failure from feedback, whatever. But when it's like part of the process, it becomes a little bit like.
I mean, I really should just get failure tattooed on my forehead because, like, I preach it so much in streams. I'm like, I love failing. I love it because it's an opportunity to find out what exactly I can adjust. The difference is, like what you're saying, you know, it's. Give me the chance to fail. Don't force me to fail, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Phil's dead. He died. I'm glad that we actually did it this way, where he went first, because that gave him a chance to die. And
it's true. Yeah.
I'm done with my topics.
With the Geth now in Geth Heaven.
Yeah, he's become one with the machine again. He's really got to get over this like techno fetish he's got, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every week he's becoming more and more Geth-like. Yeah.
Hey, I think when it comes to this podcast, I think I feel good, man. Feel good, or maybe Phil's dead, man.
And with that, thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. If you missed anything that we did, b3gamingcast.com, catch all the episodes. Patch notes, whatever, podcast notes. I call them patch notes. I don't know why. Podcast notes are going to be there as well. So there's going to be links to stuff. There's going to be the topics we talked about. And in this specific week, I organized it to where like I have the topics that each person talked about. So that's nice. You know, more work from me, whatever. I did it. You know, iTunes, whatnot, leave reviews and whatnot if you can. Much appreciated. Don't know how much that helps, but regardless, those are the words that I hear people say on other podcasts, so I figure if I mimic them long enough, maybe we'll also get as many listeners. Who knows? Thanks for hanging out if you did. Thanks for all the hosts. We got a lot of hosts here on Twitch, too, because we do this on Twitch if you're listening on, and yeah, I get occasionally emails from people that are like, I listen from the Britain land. Britain land is the real place, people, all right? We got 2C 109 votes, Count Chocula, Eric 18, Grindhead Jim, Wobotron, and Reznov 1198 something, whatever. And thanks to everybody hanging out. We got Alex Redder today, Symbiotic was there from the beginning. While 2C was hanging out for a long time, Crimsonish dropped by for sure. And anyone else that was lurking, I don't always thank everybody. In fact, I hardly ever do because I'm so tired at the end of the podcast, and that's a fault. But, Graham?
Yeah.
Don't you got something coming up in August?
Yeah, I do. So every year I do my Extra Life charity stream. Extra Life is a really cool organization where people raise money for a local children's miracle network connected hospital. So they raise money to help sick kids and families. And it's really cool because 100% of the donations actually go towards what they serve to do, which is really rare and cool. But anyway, so I do that every year. I usually do a 24-hour stream. This year in August is my 30th birthday. So I was like, why not just fuck it, we'll do it live. So I'm doing a 30-hour instead of a 24-hour charity stream this year. Oof. And Yeah, I don't have a specific date yet because sometimes one of those things, if you're like, I'm gonna do it on this date, and then like the world explodes or the weather's bad or whatever, then you're like, all right, well, you all prepared for this, whatever. So it's gonna be sometime probably in the first week of August. But if you are like, that sounds cool, then you can check out myself, Grammaton Dryad. Janzer has links and stuff. If you Google it to some capacity, you'll probably see 1,000 things that pop up with just my name. It's pretty unique. But I'm Grammaton_Dryad on Twitch and Grammaton Dryad like everywhere. So
yeah,
yeah,
definitely have him linked on b3gamingcast.com. So if you remember anything, remember that, and you can at least track it down from there.
I'll use the Twitter to tell you specifics. So
sounds good,
you
man.
can click on links to get the links to get the links to get to my Twitter link, or you could just look for me at Grammaton Dryad on Twitter, and that works too.
Feels Graham, man.
Feels real Graham. Phil's real Graham, Janzer.
Phil's here. Oh, no, he's not. Okay, well, all right, that's it. We're done. We're turning into like a end of the podcast stream, the way Emphasize ends his streams, which is like 12-hour endings. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my dog's got to go out like usual. Thanks, everyone, for listening once again. And we're out.
Love your faces.
I don't.